Next up, we have LearnBoost. So let you guys take it from here.
Hey, I'm Raphael. I'm the CEO of LearnBoost. This is Meredith, and she's awesome. We were funded last summer by the same investors that backed Twitter, Skype, and LinkedIn. A bunch of VCs, a bunch of angels. A little more background before we just jump into product. I think that's the best part of the demo. We're an open source leader. We're one of the top companies on GitHub. A couple thousand project followers, and we've created libraries like Socket.io and Mongoose. And we were named one of the top 10 startups of last year by Read Write Web with Quora and Square and a couple other companies. But I'll let the product do the talking. So this is the dashboard. It's a teacher product is what we've started with, and the idea is one product to manage your classroom as a teacher. So this is the dashboard. On the left are all the classes that you might have as a teacher. On the right are some helpful reminders and some broadcasts that we can do. We'll jump into the gradebook. And yeah, so we have a real-time library called Socket.io. The internet's kind of flaky, but it would have loaded like that. This is the gradebook. It's a great view. It's very similar to Excel, but there's a lot of things that we do on top of that. Along the top, you can see more information about your assignments. If you scroll over the little eye, and that'll show you what you've tagged it to Common Core state standards, which is the upcoming national standard. We'll instantly calculate grades, so let's see if the internet's working. So, yeah, you can see it's just instantly calculating everything. And then we have a full screen view, but we don't need to go into that. So that's the gradebook tab, manage your grades and assignments. Attendance. You can do this in a visual view, a chart view, and you can quickly take attendance, or you can do the list view. So that's for more traditional teachers. You can see everything is just really fast. You can get an in-depth view of your student. So that's attendance. Let's go up to lesson plans. This was something we snuck in. We actually developed this whole product, the first version, in about 10 weeks, which was crazy. And we snuck in a lesson plan thing for fun. We have a great team. And this is the visual view of the lesson plans. But we also have a lesson plan builder, and you can attach any sort of media that you'd like. Again, tag it to Common Core standards. Basically do anything that you could think of as a teacher with your lesson plans. I'll skip reporting because that was something we rolled out a couple weeks ago. That's a gem. So we'll jump to calendar. And this calendar is great. It integrates with Google Calendar. We actually were one of the early companies to integrate with Google Apps. So they launched an education category last week. We were heavily featured, fortunately, by our friends at Google. So we integrate with Google Apps, which is exciting because, frankly, that's the direction that things are moving. A lot of people and a lot of education institutions are using Google Apps. And let's quickly go over to reporting. So this is amazing, I think. This is all of this generates instantly based off of the data that's in the gradebook and that's in LearnBoost. So that's literally instant calculations. Everything's real time, as we mentioned before. On the top, you can see this graph, and you can see it at a classroom level, which is the view that we're in right now. You can see by category, so homework is what's selected right now. We could instantly switch. There's no assignments. On the right, you can see the breakdown of your assignments by homework, by whatever category you might have. And then at the bottom, you can see a classroom level view of attendance. And we'll quickly switch over to the student view in your classroom. And this is great. We basically have these individual views. And I mean, notice everything's like that. Switch over. That gives you a great look at attendance. If you switch over to that tab, we won't click it, but we print beautiful reports as well. The goal is really not to have to use paper, but people print off reports and they love to print. And yeah, we're releasing our parent and student accounts. So this is all teacher focused right now. The next phase is we're releasing parent and student accounts in the next 2 weeks or so, guaranteed in February. So that's really exciting, and that's the next stage of our growth. And where we want to be is move from managing your classroom as a teacher to managing your school as an administrator. So eventually we'll build out this administrative functionality. So one other thing I'd like to add is if you see on the top right, it's kind of tough because it's not a core feature, but it's something we think is interesting. Yep, is translate. We implemented crowdsourced translation into over 74 languages. We have over, it's actually active, so we have about 350 users translating for us into a variety of languages. That looks to be Spanish from here.
Yeah.
So that's cool because right now we're already in over 20 countries, but we want to roll out native language support as soon as possible and build on our early lead. So we'll be rolling that out, who knows when, but I think it's a really interesting thing because it builds upon what Facebook really pioneered about 2 or 3 years ago, and we took a crack at it. So I'll just open it up to questions at this point. Oh, it's free. Go ahead.
Okay, so just given that it's free, are you marketing this mainly to the consumer, the teacher, or are you going after the school systems?
Yeah, so the question was, are we marketing it to teachers or to school systems? Right now, one of the things we're taking, or we're benefiting from is the fact that going bottoms up in education is really the way to go. You go top down and try to sell into a school district, they'll put you on a pilot and it'll take 3 years and then you ran out of money. So we've gone bottoms up, we focus on the teacher, which is why all we have right now is teacher functionality. We're not worried about admins, we're not worried about parents, students yet. So we've gone straight to teachers, that's one. Two is the whole teacher product is completely free. We want to get the adoption first, and then we can do a freemium model in schools. And so right now schools pay $20,000 to $30,000 a year for student information systems. And we want to lower that total cost of ownership by an order of magnitude. And so I want schools to be on average paying $2,000 or $3,000 a year, which means in the US we can save hundreds of millions of dollars every single year. That's a powerful mission for us. Go ahead.
Would you be able to take this and be able to use this with, say, online or webinar-based course?
The question was, can you use this software for a webinar-based course? You know, we've found a lot of interesting uses for our product. It's not the core focus. The core focus is for K through 12 classrooms. We've seen people sign up and use it in a corporate environment. We've seen people sign up and use it for homeschool. Frankly, there's just not a lot of good software out there to administer anything that's really remotely related to a classroom. So we see a lot of creative uses for it. Sure, if you want to use it for that, then that's perfectly fine, but that's not our goal or our aim right now. In the back?
Can you take classes that you've already built on, say, like Blackboard, and export it into your system so you don't have to rebuild everything again?
So the question was, can you take what you built in Blackboard or any other competitor and import it into LearnBoost? Right now, no. We want to focus on the utility of our own product before we worry about taking customers from anyone else, which is really interesting because people are still coming over to us. So right now, we don't have an import functionality at all. We will build it out, and given our open source leadership and the technical prowess we have, I think we'll do something really creative around that. But it's not anything planned right now.
I would guess that other countries that have different educational systems might have needs for different functionality, or would put more importance on certain functions that might be kind of hidden in your current platform. How do you plan to adapt to the different systems?
Yep. So the question was, different countries have different needs. How do you adapt to the systems? We've thought through that in terms of the language with our translation, so we'll be able to do right to left, for example, instead of just left to right translation. In terms of the actual functionality, right now in the US you have common core state standards. You may be wondering, well, you have different standards in different countries. Fortunately, we've already figured that out. We already know which countries we want to launch in, and we also know where to get the standards as well. So without tipping our hand too much, we have an answer for that stuff, and we're ready to customize when we're ready to roll out different countries. In the middle, back.
So a question for you, based upon that also.
Yep.
Do you have a list of all the countries that you're going to support online? Is visible somewhere?
So no, we haven't. So the question was, do you have a list of countries you're going to support online? Yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say we want to be in every country. But the priority really is going to be based on where our users are right now, and so where we're seeing this organic adoption first. So people signing up in we're in over 20 countries already, so we're seeing people all over the world signing up and using this, and they don't have the local standards and they don't have the local language, which I think is really interesting. Shows the really big need in this space, and hopefully a little bit of the good stuff we've done so far. In terms of prioritizing and picking which country to go after, right now there isn't a systematic response to that. I'd rather go after where, you know, thousands of people are picking up in a country and go there, as opposed to saying China's the biggest country in the world, let's go after that. So we're going to respond, we'll look at it in a smart way. Short answer is we don't have a list right now that we could even share.
Is your code open source?
So we open source almost all of our components. We don't open source the main part, or LearnBoost.js. We're 100% JavaScript shop. We're actually a Node.js shop, if anyone out there has heard of it. So no, we don't open source the main part of our product. Everything else, all the components we open source, and I don't even know in the front.
What is the size of your development team?
So the question was, what's the size of our development team? I guess 4 and a half. So
Hold on.
yeah.
Maybe
Thank
one more
you.
question.
You already asked. The one in the back.
How are you getting the word out to teachers? How are they finding out about LearnBoost?
So the secret. How do you get to all the teachers is the question. How do you find out about LearnBoost? Of course, Meredith helps, but I think product quality. It's everyone asks, what's the secret? Do you do gamification? Do you do points? Do you do this and that? Do you do referrals? We don't do any of that. We just built a product that people are responding to that fulfills a real need, and people actually tell other people. And so it's been a really steady growth and really exciting for us. There's no secret whatsoever. We don't even pay for marketing. We've spent $0.
Cool. Great, guys. Thank you.
Someone left their